What's up, guys? This is Tarheelwill here again. I wanted to come on and have a quick little discussion and talk about, in my opinion, during my time, the top 5 UNC teams. Okay, there's a lot of people who can have their rankings are going to be different. My rankings doesn't mean I'm just going to go by what I think is the best team, how dominant they were, and things like that. Leading up to whatever. Doesn't mean they had to win a championship. So this is all across the board: win a championship or without a championship. So I'm going to start with number 5, and they don't have a championship. It'll be the 97-98 team with Antoine Jamison, Vince Carter, Shammond Williams, and all those cats. Okay, that was a great team. They had a great run. I think I was in like 10th grade in high school. I still vividly remember watching that game when they got lost in the Final Four to Utah, 59-65. And I remember watching that over at a friend's house in like 10th grade, and I remember Antoine Jamison kissing the floor, which I knew right then meant he was not coming back. And I knew if Jamison wasn't coming back, Carter wasn't coming back for their senior year. So I knew right then they were gone. But that team was very dominant. They had a lot of good players. Their record was 34-4. Good record. They made it all the way to the Final Four. Just couldn't get past Utah. That game was, I remember, tough to watch. It was a hard-fought battle, and they lost by 6. So, I'm sure if my memory is right, they kind of played until the end. Now, number 4 would be the 92-93 team with Eric Montross and the famous timeout by Chris Webber. This game right here, I was in 6th grade, I believe. And I remember, again, watching this game in my bedroom. This is like the first season, I think, that like the time in my life that I remember I was like fully basketball. And I paid attention to this season. I remember seasons leading up to this, but I couldn't tell you much about them. I watched them, but this is the season I remember that like I became like 100% all in on the Tar Heels basketball. And I remember this game like it was yesterday, like most people can. It was UNC and Michigan, the Fab Five. That season, all you heard was Fab Five. They were great. They came in, they dominated. Was it 5 freshmen on the team? They brought in the swag, the new baggy shorts, which led on for years to come until now. Everybody's back wearing shorts. But anyways, they brought a whole different style to the game. North Carolina still played great that entire season leading up to that. Their record also was 34-4. They defeated Michigan 77-71, but we know what the outcome. We know how it happened. Chris Webber called a timeout. Honestly, he should never got to that point because he walked twice before he got to that point. So, if the rest would have called it, maybe Chris Webber would have never went down in history as that moment in his life that probably stood out for a long period of time. I'm sure that people still say stuff to him now about it, because if I saw him, I'd probably walk up. If I had a conversation, I'd probably call a timeout in front of him. That's just me. But that was a great team. Eric Montross was still one of my most favorite players. He just was a big man that didn't take much. He went down there and banged. I'm old school when it comes. I like to get down low, bang. That's how I try to coach my middle school basketball team. So that was a great team. Now, number 3 will be the 2004-2005 team with Rashad McCants, Raymond Felton, Sean May, and that whole crew. And that was a great team. That was the first team that I remembered since the '93 team that had a good shot. So there's a lot of teams between there, but not dominant, not really making too much of a run. They made some runs, but this team was one that I knew had a shot to come back and win. Everybody came back, but then Illinois had a great team, and they were awesome the entire year. I remember that year most people knew it was going to be Illinois and North Carolina in the finals. I remember watching that game. I was in college at this point. I remember watching this game, and I was over at a friend's house, and I was a nervous wreck. I could not watch this game anywhere with a crowd of people, nothing like that. I had to be somewhere with not a crowd of people. And I remember watching it. It was a nail biter till the end. That team was very deserving. That was Roy's first championship. It was, a magical one. It was a great one. Technically, that was most of those players were Bill Rutledge recruits. Roy inherited those players, but coached them up and became a great team. That was, I think it was just to get Roy his first championship back home at UNC. So I think it was just a great season all around. It ended the way it probably should have. Now Illinois had Tarheelwill and a couple other players, and they were good. And I mean, it was a tough one. So number 2 is the 81-82 team with Jordan defeating Georgetown 63-62. The game-winning shot that we've all known as the shot. I think I have a framed picture of it somewhere over here. I might move it into the back of me soon. That year they ended 32-2. They were a great team. So was Georgetown with Patrick Ewing. Jordan just hit the shot. But now I was born in '81, so I didn't actually see the game because I was at that point like one and a half maybe. I was born in February, so yeah, that was about 1 year old. I would have been, so I didn't actually see it, but I rewatched the game myself. I have it on DVD. I saw it. It was a great game. Again, come down to the last shot. Now, the number 1 team, in my opinion, is 2008-2009 team. They were 34-4, and they defeated Michigan State 89-72. That's the Tyler Hansborough, Wayne Ellington, Ty Lawson. Who am I leaving out? Danny Green. There's a lot. Bobby Frazier. That whole team, when they came back, and they all decided to come back, I knew right then 100% that they were going to win the championship that year. I had no doubts in my mind. That was a guaranteed. They started and they finished. Yes, they lost 4 games that season, but who's going to not? I mean, not many teams are going undefeated, so especially at that time, you're going to get beat. But that was a team that I knew. I knew they were going to win it. There was no doubt in my mind. I saw a few games that season. I actually had tickets with my grandfather. We went to the NCAA tournament. I think we saw the first 2 rounds. We watched that game against LSU when Ty Lawson had a hurt toe, and he dominated and won that game injured. There was just nobody that would stop that team. It's just they were destined to win, and they were not going to. And you had Psycho T. You can't really talk about that without Psycho T. He was one of the greatest college basketball players to ever play the game. He dominated. He had a goofy shot. I loved every minute of it because it was such a goofy shot, but he knew what he was doing and he could make it. It may be goofy, but it went in. Everybody in the country hated Ty Lawson. Tyler Hansborough. But guess what? If he'd have been on your team, you would have loved him. Okay? He just had the heart and soul. He was going to win. That's just, I still, and honestly, if I did a top 5 or top 5 UNC players video, which I probably would do, Tyler would be in the top 5. I'm not going to tell you where he would be in my opinion because I'm probably going to do that video later. But Tyler is one of the greatest that ever wore the uniform. I wish there was more players like him that we can get. I wish a lot of players had that heart. I wish a lot of players had that grit. As coaching middle school 8th grade basketball, I wish these players had that work ethic to do that great and push themselves. In today's world, some athletes have lost that. They think it's given to them. They think that just because they played AAU, that they should be given all these shots. But I just wish the players today would think about that and watch some of these players and go read about these players and see what they had to give up doing to get to their dream. Some of these players sacrificed a lot. I know that Tyler, when he was playing, he was shooting. I remember we were going to watch a game. I don't remember the game, but I was outside standing there trying to get a 18-year-old's autograph. And Tyler Nader came out, and every time I went to a game, Tyler never came out, but every time we talked, like, where's Tyler? Because we asked the security guard. They said he's in there taking jump shots. He's in there doing it. He's in the weight room. This is after a game. I know that Ty Lawson would go into the gym at night and shoot 1,000 jump shots. Danny Green, Wayne Ellington, all of them would do the same thing. Like, you have to put in that effort to get to the level. And then when you get to that level, you got to up it even more. But I just wish the kids these days would realize the sacrifices they have to do. But back to it, Tyler and them just dominated. So that would, out of the top 5, but in my time frame, that's what I would rank them. And honestly, I could go back and look at each one, and that rank would probably change every single time. So I just decided to stick with one, not try to go off the top of my head, and that's the rankings I came. So if you like my videos, please like and subscribe. Check me out on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Tarheelwill ssportsblog. Please hit the like and subscribe button below and the bell to get notifications anytime I post a video. And I appreciate everyone's support. Have a great day.